Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. The first one is from Martin Fitzwater at 12 weeks out of Pittsburgh Pro. So as you can see, it's a photo of Martin not really hitting a bodybuilding pose, but basically just standing there at the beach. And when I saw this, I was like, isn't he supposed to be prepping for the show, for the Pittsburgh Pro? In the caption there he says, off-season dump. Sitting in a nice spot right now, mentally and physically, couldn't ask for much more. And there is a bunch of other photos as well from his vacation right now. There is a story also with his wife or girlfriend celebrating the Valentine's Day. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to you guys. If you have somebody, if you don't, you can still go to the gym and make love with the weights. Anyways, Martin right now. Again, I found it very odd that he wrote off-season dump. I mean, is it really off-season if he's 12 weeks out of the Pittsburgh Pro? Like, isn't his prep supposed to have already started? Well, not necessarily. If you take a look at his previous physical update, the most recent one from 2 weeks ago, you will see that his conditioning was actually very good for 14 weeks out. Probably too good for 14 weeks out. And you guys also know that he competed quite recently. I mean, he did a Prague Pro 4 weeks after the Mr. Olympia. Of course, the Mr. Olympia, he did that, and he did a New York Pro and a Detroit Pro last year. That is a lot of shows, and he was in shape basically the whole year, and he kind of stayed in shape even after that. So basically, he had no time off for the last year. So probably he decided to take some time off, maybe a week or 10 days before his prep actually starts to get serious. And in this physique update, I think he looks a little bit more watery than in the previous one. On his shins, you can see the marks from his socks. And that happens when you're holding a little bit more water. So even though like his lower abdomen seems a little bit softer, it's not that he got fat in the meantime in these past 2.5 weeks since his last update. He probably just got a little bit watery because he's on vacation. He's probably, eating whatever, like eating junk and maybe drinking a little and enjoying life. So yeah, he doesn't look as hard, as ripped as usual, but it's not like he is off with conditioning for 12 weeks out. And when I read that off-season part, I was kind of wondering, like, is he maybe out of Pittsburgh Pro? I mean, wasn't he supposed to be prepping? But then I thought 12 weeks is a long enough time, especially for somebody like Martin, who is known for having a super crazy fast metabolism. And he spoke about this many times on the podcasts, and I think he did no cardio for his last prep, like zero cardio. Or a little bit, just a little bit. And he was eating a lot of carbs as well. His body is like, he has a crazy fast metabolism. He has trouble eating enough in the off season to gain weight, but when it comes to prepping, he has no trouble getting in shape. And he says basically he loves it, he enjoys it, he never really suffers. He feels the best when he's like 2 weeks out, which is crazy to me. Like at 4 weeks out, I start to feel horrible. At 3 weeks out, I'm dying. At 2 weeks out, I don't know who I am, basically. So Martin is basically one of those genetically blessed bodybuilders who have super crazy fast metabolism. There are many examples like that. For example, I'm thinking of Dexter Jackson. I know he used to talk about how he was doing zero cardio in his preps, and he was even eating junk food frequently on prep, and he would get super shredded. His nickname was the Blade because of his conditioning. He never really had to suffer for it. Ian Valier, same thing basically. He was always struggling with fullness, but he would get shredded so easy, and also he would feel amazing when he's prepping. And Martin is one of those guys, so conditioning-wise, there is no reason to worry. The only thing that I may worry about would be like, is he focused enough? Is he driven enough? Didn't he maybe burn out last year and now he has to take like some time off? Is this like 1 week or 10 days on vacation going to be enough? If he is that tired, that burnt out, maybe he won't be able to pull through like with his entire prep, and maybe he will do it, but maybe because of that his body won't be able to respond in the best way possible, and he won't end up looking his best. That's something I'm kind of worried about, but conditioning wise, at 14 weeks out, he was basically probably in even better conditioning than Nick Walker is right now at 12 weeks out. So conditioning-wise, there is absolutely zero reason to worry. We'll see how fresh will he be, how full, how well will he be peaked. That's the only thing that I'm worried about. Is he going to be able, actually, is his body going to be able to peak again in such a short time? Like, he peaked pretty well at the Detroit Pro, and then again at the New York Pro, and then at the Mr. Olympia, and at the Prague Pro, especially the finals. He was basically peaked 4 times in such a short time last year. And in 12 weeks, he needs to do that one more time. Will he be able to do it? Let's hope for the best. Is he going to be able to beat Nick Walker? Poof, man, that's a tough question. I can't answer it right now. When I see like more physique updates from both of these guys, especially from Martin, maybe at like 8 weeks out, 6 weeks out, I'll be able to maybe make an assessment. But right now, it looks like anything can happen. It's going to be very close. But whatever you guys think, tell me down below. Alright, the next physique update is from Nathan the Asha. I have no idea what shows he's prepping for. He usually does the shows later in the year or like during the summer. So maybe he started prepping slowly for summer. What we can see right here is that he looks big, full, but does he look improved? Not really. I mean, I don't think he's going to be that much improved. Like, I think he's like at the peak of his career for the past couple of years. He's lucky if he maintains this, basically. The flaw that he has now is that bicep that is torn. You can see it right here, the right one, it looks a lot shorter. But I think he was actually able to make some progress in the past 2-3 years. Now, do I see him making a lot of progress? I mean, I think he could make progress if he was like willing to really put the work in. But I don't think he's doing that lately. I think he's just doing his thing, you know, training hard, eating a lot, doing everything, but not really being super focused on improving. I think he's basically at a good spot. He's winning pro shows every year, and I think this year he may win a couple. I think he won like 12 shows so far. That's a lot, but like most of the shows are European, smaller shows. He hasn't been to the US, I believe, since 2018 Olympia. And ever since then, he was saying that like next year he'll be able to, he got the visa, he got the issues fixed, but it never happens. And this year, there is also talk about him doing the Mr. Olympia, actually being able to travel to the US. But I won't believe it until I see it. You know, it's been said so many times so far, and it never happens. In this actual variation of most muscular, his bicep actually looks fine. And really, it looks pretty good, like in the poses on stage. It's not really that noticeable that he has a bicep tear. You can see it from certain angles, but like in majority of the poses, the mandatory poses, you won't really see it. It's not really an issue for him. So overall, he looks good, he looks big, he looks full, he looks in decent conditioning. He'll probably do a couple of European shows, maybe Dubai Pro, that's a big show this year. Hopefully, he will actually manage to get to the US and go to the Mr. Olympia. But until I see it, I won't believe it. And whatever you guys think, tell me down below. Alright, the next thing we got is kinda interesting. It's actually Justin Rodriguez, who I thought was supposed to retire a couple of years ago. He reached his peak, I would say, in 2021. That year when he won, I believe, Indy Pro, and then he lost to Nick Walker at the New York Pro. He placed second. That was a good year for him. And I think that was probably his last good year. Maybe 2022 was okay, but after that, his physique started fading. He started losing body parts, especially the legs. His waist was getting bigger, wider. He started like rapidly losing the aesthetics and the symmetry, and he was losing body parts as well. But this physique update right now, as you guys know, he's doing the Arnold Classic. When I saw him in that list, I was like, why is he even doing this show? Why is he even competing? Like, his physique is not good enough to be up there against those guys. He's going to place dead last. Maybe not dead last. I think he's probably going to beat Patrick Tour because of his size. Patrick just can't match these guys with the size, but you know, maybe second to last, maybe last, I think. But when I saw this physique update, I was like, you know, it looks like he's midsection downsized quite a bit, right? It looks a lot different, a lot smaller. I don't know what he did to his obliques, but his waist, I don't think it ever looked this small. I mean, I don't remember it looking any smaller than this. It almost looks like this was photoshopped, which I don't think is the case. And I really have no idea how he downsized the waist so much in 1 year. Did he lose the size overall? It kind of looks like he lost some size. I don't know. We'll see on stage. I mean, here his waist looks small and he looks maybe a little bit flatter, smaller. But take a look at this video as well. It's in black and white and the lighting is really in his favor, but you can still see that like he is not downsized. He's still pretty big. This is why I think he's going to beat Patrick Moore at least. And I don't know how aesthetic can he really look from the front. I mean, his back was always his strongest point, and he still has a lot of muscle from behind. There's this shot from the front as well, but like, why am I even showing you this one? Where did you find this freaking lighting? You can't see anything pretty much. But yeah, it looks like he didn't really lose a lot of size. And for some reason in this physique update, it looks like he really downsized his waist, his midsection. So maybe this is going to be a comeback year for Justin. Maybe he's actually gonna show up looking better than ever. But we'll see. I mean, these are just Instagram photos. We'll see how will he end up looking on stage. We're only 2 weeks out of Arnold Classic, so he doesn't have a lot of time to work on his physique. This is what you're gonna get on stage. Basically, what do you guys think? Can he beat any more guys other than Patrick Moore? Well, tell me down below whatever your thoughts are. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. For more content about bodybuilding like this, stay here, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. All the best, and bye-bye.